So question 10, again, we're dividing fractions, but notice how we have a trinomial over a trinomial expression divided by a binomial over a binomial. So we have what we call these little polynomial expressions as well. So first off, remember in division, we don't typically divide, so we kind of keep change and flip to start with. So I'm going to keep the first rational expression. So I'm going to keep the y squared minus the 2y minus the 15 over then the y squared minus the 6y plus the 9. But we're going to change the division to multiplication. By doing so, the second rational expression has to flip. So the y minus 3 goes in the numerator, and the y minus 5 goes in the denominator. So notice how, again, we have these trinomials. Notice how, again, they're general trinomials. So really all we have to do is find the factors of c to add up to the b. So what are the factors of a negative 15? Factors of a negative 15, but they have to add up to the negative 2. So we have 1 and 15, and really all we have is 3 and 5, because 5 and 3 is the same thing. So really only have two pairs again. Notice how, again, we need a negative, so that means the bigger number's got to be negative. So this has got to be negative. And to get that negative 2, it looks like we need this 3 and this negative 5. So as I bring this down, what I'm picking up on, instead of multiplying this out, we're actually going to factor. So that y minus the y squared minus 2y minus 15, we're going to factor it into two sets of parentheses. And we're going to use the y and the y. And then we need a 3, so a plus 3 and a minus 5. And notice how we're multiplying, but we're going to use parentheses here and multiply by y minus 3 on the top as well. So again, we're not actually going to multiply that out. So we have three different factors for the top. Notice at the bottom, what are the factors of a 9 that give me a 6? It looks like that 3 and 3 jump out. So it looks like we need a y and a y. But to get a negative 6, both of those 3's need to be negative. So notice how negative 3 times negative 3 does give me my 9. Negative 3 plus negative 3 gives me my negative 6. So notice how the factors of the c, if you multiply them together, they do give you a 9. But if you add those together, they have to give you the middle term. So that's kind of our shortcut when the quadratic term is just the y squared part. There is no really a coefficient other than 1 there. It makes the factoring rather easy. So all we really got to do is bring down the y minus 5 with it. So in factored form, we just start trying to see if there's any factors in common. Well, I don't see a y plus 3, but I do see a y minus 5 on the top and the bottom. So I can cancel the y minus 5 and the y minus 5. They divide out. And also see there's a y minus 3 and a y minus 3 here that divide out. So the remaining factors would be then the y plus 3 in the numerator and the y minus 3 in the denominator. And we don't necessarily need to put those parentheses there. We can just drop the parentheses if we like and just leave it in that form. So again, the key is to actually not divide. And then the other thing is actually not to multiply, but actually factor, cancel, and then put things together at the very end.